Ladies and gentlemen, this is a fantastic night to be a fan of this game and be a fan of the game and power changing sides in this game. Understand, we all came into this game as fans at the beginning stage. We all didn't understand how this game was played. We all had to figure out what is the real way to traverse throughout this game. Cory and Applebee's were super fans. They have less excuses than anyone else that is currently still in that house to have played as sloppily as they did. It was almost as if as soon as Jarrett left, they believed the rest of the house would just target black people for the following weeks, and they didn't even have to keep their foot on the pedal. Understand, they are truly a cautionary tale because they became complacent. And I can create the argument, you became complacent, Cory, because of the favors that were being done for you in the bed. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, the irony of this title, it writes itself. No more Boogie Nights, the 35th rant of Big Brother 25. It's poetic in a sense because you literally crashed out over some coitus. You crashed out over some intercourse. You basically are living the Boogie Nights life in the house. But it also has another meaning to it because we don't have to watch the Booger Eater anymore on our feeds. Understand, Coach, this is a celebratory evening. If you are a fan or if you were a fan of Jared, Izzy, Mimi, all of the above on that ISAT test ACT, shoot, I'm calling the Hisam evolutionary fans out tonight to celebrate. Anyone that Cory had a hand in doing dirty, this is the rant for you, and I couldn't be happy to provide it for you, because I could easily be watching the Challenge USA 2 finale right now, but I said no. We might not get another moment this good the rest of the season. The Stone Age could just come right back after Johnny Mac, so why not? Let's roast Apple Cory one more time for the culture here exclusively on Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the critically acclaimed Pop the Trunk podcast, now Patreon exclusively sponsored Hall of Fame. Become a patron today if you would like to hear my thoughts on the Challenge USA 2 finale tomorrow. But we are here, ladies and gentlemen, for Big Brother. And I'm, of course, the joy boy of this community, bringing balance back to civilization. You know, I walked away for a while. People said when the world needed him most, he disappeared. They created the argument I was Aang from The Last Airbender. Well, you know, Aang is the one who can reach the Avatar state. And that's when he glows just like my Infinity Stones do to date. So it's only right that I am the one that can truly dictate how this man should be roasted tonight. See, understand, Cory thinks he can be this self-deprecating guy, and it'll somehow allow him to dodge all of these jokes. No, it's not gonna happen. It's as if Cory watched 8 Mile before he came into this season, and he said, oh, well, B-Rabbit just roasted himself. I do live with my mom. It's almost as if Cory this week said, all right, if I gotta go home, let me utilize that strategy a little bit. Let me make myself into a meme so it's less memes black folks can make of me. No, sir, no, sir, no, sir. We still have the same amount of memes we can make because at the end of the day, Coach, you had it made in the shade. Even when you and Applebee's have displayed yourself to be two of the most pretentious, entitled, and let's just be real, overrated couples and showmances in Big Brother history, this production team still gave y'all one of the most rose-tinted glasses type edits I've ever seen. Sure, in this episode tonight, we finally saw some self-awareness for once. Even Applebee's admitted she's one of the worst players ever. I've been trying to tell her stan base this for months now. They told me I didn't know what I was talking about. Well, the girl you all vicariously lived through because she happens to be white from Mexico, she admitted it. So now you gotta admit I was right all along. I know it hurts. That's tough. I know it hurts, but at the end of the day, Coach, it is what it is. And see, that's not the only thing that was admitted tonight. Jag shitted on them Blue Kim shitted on them, Cerie shitted on them, Felicia shitted on them. Are you catching on to a pattern here, Coach? Everybody and their mama was so relieved to split y'all up because y'all been in that little corner playing hide the foot. Huh? Y'all been in that little corner eating fruit by the foot. I'll never get over the little Lunchables date y'all had that was super cringy in the backyard. I'm like, what are we watching, Coach? Rugrats? All grown up? Well, I guess in Cory's case, it isn't grown up yet. Oh, we're still cooking, don't worry. But seriously, though, let's just be honest here in these streets. All right? This guy Cory and this girl Applebee's, they truly are one of the biggest cautionary tales. Because when you talk about a couple who have been allowed to just skate to jury, that's them. When you talk about a couple who were only nominated pre-jury because Cory tried to blindside his final two, that's Apple Cory. When you talk about a couple who at every turn had all these options, not because they earned the options, but because the people around them did the heavy lifting so they could have options. At every turn, they betrayed those who gave them the opportunity to have options. And then when Jag and Matt finally see some options, they act as if Jag and Matt should be legally blind, bird box settings, and they should just act like Miss Congeniality as if they don't know what they're looking at. At the end of the day, Coach, like I said in the previous rant roasting y'all, this is the same gameplay. And unfortunately, Cory, well, you know what? I'll give you some credit. You went out with grace, but let's be fair here. He only went out with grace because he knows how badly he played himself. Do you really believe Cory wanted to go out like this? No. Do you really believe Cory, all those days of dreaming about playing this game, did you ever think he thought he would be in a showmance? No. Did you ever think he thought his game would be derailed because of a showmance? No. Understand that. Cory didn't plan for these things to happen, but he adjusted and adapted. The problem is his ability to adapt, if I were to do a postseason worst of first tonight, would be a 1 out of 5. Your adaptation skills are garbage because you think you need to adapt when you don't have to yet. And a lot of that had to do with you having a problem with Jared just because he wanted to target Applebee's. But when I watched the episode tonight, when I watched Cerie bring up the fact that you're a very smart kid, Cory, but why did you have to shove your showmance in all of our faces so much? You know, I remember people in this fan base criticizing Jared because he was getting way too close to Blue Kim too soon, made it too obvious, especially in the backyard a few times. These were the same people, when Apple Cory did these same things, all they did was act like it was cute. They never really spoke on how it was having a negative impact on their games because they didn't even care about the game. And that's my point. Production 2 weeks ago tried to cater to fans that don't care about the integrity of the game, and that almost put the entire show, the entire intellectual property, in limbo. This is not what you need to be doing, and that's why I said, listen, if production saw the errors of their ways and they let this dude go, then I gotta deliver a rant tonight. I have to. Because I have to provide positive reinforcement. If I'm going to talk a big game, I have to back it up with some action. If production's going to show me action, then I got to show them some action. So understand, this is playing a role in this. But in this episode, Jag was cooking these people. And don't get it twisted, I was very angry about Tuesday night's episode. I sat through that 75-minute episode just for it to end on a cliffhanger. They spent more time with Felicia doing her solitary confinement. And by the way, it was very cute how Blue was the first one to run to Felicia and hug her after a solitary. Nice subtle touch like that. Makes me wonder, does Blue still think Felicia is Jared's mom? No, I'm joking though. But seriously though, little subtle touches like that is why Blue, in my opinion, is playing the best game currently. Because as long as Jag, Matt, or Bowie don't win the HOH tonight, I'm cool. I'd be okay even if Applebee's wins, because she wants that smoke with Jag and Matt. See, Blue, even though I do want you safe, I'm also aware of the fact that you're not likely to target Matt and Jag just yet. Now, you told Cerie that you were willing to go after Jag, but we now know, based off live feeds, that Blue's not really going to make that move yet and take that shot yet. And can you blame her? You know, for Blue's game, she should want Bowie Jane gone and at least Applebee's gone before she starts turning on Matt and Jag. For her game, she should want Cerie, Felicia on one side, Matt and Jag possibly on the other side. And Blue Kim is in the middle. She's arguably that swing vote. She's basically Emily, what she was last night in Survivor on the new Bello. That's basically, in theory, what Blue Kim would be in that Final Five scenario. That's what Blue Kim should be fighting for. Now, let's go ahead and run down what these players plan to do if they win this HOH, and we'll double back to this episode as well, just because it's on my mind. Blue Kim seems to be more so fixated on nominating maybe an Applebee's next to a Bowie Jane. Cirie and Felicia, they discussed the idea of throwing up Bowie Jane next to Applebee's, telling Applebee's she isn't the target, she's simply a pawn, and if one of them happen to come off, then they will backdoor Jag to get Jag out. But for the time being, they know they are sitting good because Jag and Matt do have both sisters in their Final Five plans. Because of that, Blue is actually still a target of Matt and Jag in this following week coming up. She also is a target of Bowie Jane in the week coming up, and this is why Jag wants Matt to throw the HOH to Bowie Jane. Problem is, we now know from Julie Chen, who also roasted Apple Corey tonight. That's not lost on me, Julie. We'll get to that joke a little bit later too, but Julie Chen told us there's going to be a dentistry type HOH comp, which feels very similar to the detective veto comps of the past. I remember doing BB Can 9. I remember Kiefer in Final Four. I believe all of them did like a detective type comp. And if I'm not mistaken, I also remember Kylan and Xavier during BB23 doing a detective type comp. I'm not saying this dentist comp is a detective type comp, but it kind of has that similar set to it. But definitely a lot of fans believe, okay, this is not endurance, this is not physical. Production is at least giving the other players that aren't as athletically gifted a fighting chance. And as long as you give them a fighting chance, I can live with the results, hence why I'm here tonight to deliver this rant as well, right? If I would have saw an endurance comp where you got to go up and down, slip and slide on oil and put stuff in a cup or whatever, I'd have been like, but this feels, to me, this feels fair, this feels balanced. And when I see balanced and fair things, I can live with the results as a fan. I'm not going to be the one saying it's rigged, even though I am a little suspicious about individually timed comps. But with that said, the fact that production isn't making this physical, they're at least trying to put their best foot forward. For that reason, I can't knock them. But, so this episode tonight, I mean, let's just be real here. This production team tried very hard to make the average casual believe Cory was staying. They tried so hard to make it seem like his horrible campaign was really good. They tried so hard to make it seem like Cirie was really going to keep Cory. In my honest opinion, Cirie was never going to keep Cory, because even when she voted Cory out tonight, she said that was for Pooh and Izzy. Anyone who is doing something for Pooh and Izzy isn't really contemplating or hesitating in the decision-making process. This is someone who is basically hearing you out, because that's the respectful kind of game to play, to make sure you polish your jury management well. And let's be real, Cirie's jury management has been impeccable. You know, Cameron went from wanting to backdoor Cirie when Jarrett was, fake being cool with him that one week, and then Jarrett went HOH and he backdoored Cameron. Cameron went from wanting to backdoor Cirie out this game to not targeting Cirie at all and wanting her in his Final Five. Jag and Matt, Jag went from calling Cirie a bully to wanting Cirie in his Final Five. Matt's always been somewhat Matty Fields, but he had that moment during the double I questioned him when, the 40-yard dash NFL scouting combine of it all. I thought it was funny how Applebee's called him a dumb blonde tonight. I said, dang, she's super mad. Super salty. But with that said, so that's interesting to me. The fact that Cirie went from being the person Cameron wanted out pre-jury to now being the person Cameron wanted his late game win conditions. Interesting. Now you have Cory leaving the game. I think he's, especially after earlier today when I saw him hug Cirie and basically say it was an honor to play with you, all of that stuff is all fine and dandy, and I'm pretty sure he meant that in a sincere way. Let me state that. But I also remember what Cory said early in this season. I remember how he tried so often pre-jury to cut Cirie down on feeds when he talked to cams, making it seem like, oh, Cirie was a good Survivor player, but she's not good at Big Brother. As he was plotting on all the black people, as he was subtly dry snitching on them to Cameron during his first HOH week when Cameron chose to instead target Jag. Understand these things, right? Cory has always been very slick with his disses towards Cirie. So while I will give him some kudos for, giving her roses before he left, I'm also fully aware of the fact that when things were going well for you in this game, you talked about her like you thought she was overrated. So this gives black fans every right to speak on how overrated you are. Because Say whatever you want about Cirie. Cirie has actually been on the bottom, worked her way up from the bottom. Cory, you never was on the bottom until now, and you didn't have any type of idea how to get your way out of it. That, to me, says a lot. Say whatever you want about Cirie. Cirie figured out a way out of no way. After losing Izzy and Jarrett virtually back-to-back, she still figured out a way. You, by the way, you lost those same allies, but you were part of the reason why those allies were lost. So we can't create the argument you ever fought from the bottom because you believe you were on top for putting your own self on the bottom. So I can't give you kudos for that. See, you made Cirie a victim of your own selfish game only for her to outlast you just the same. You made Blue Kim into this target that should be taken out because deep down in your heart, you knew she owed you that karma for how you did her boyfriend. And that's why I love the fact how Blue Kim wanted you out so Applebee's could feel that pain. See, it's all fun and games when you remove someone else's boyfriend from the house. The minute it's yours, that you have been trying to cheat on, by the way, Applebee's, now all of a sudden you think the whole world should care? When they can tell you've been playing him 7 ways to Sunday anyway? And this is part of the reason why Applebee's, in my opinion, you can't win this game either. No one respects your game. But the good thing for you right now is, similar to Cirie after losing Jarrett, you have the opportunity to rebrand yourself now with no Cory next to you. You have the opportunity to prove you actually were worth the casting slot you were chosen for. Because I'm being honest, so far, you haven't proven anything. All you've proven to me is that you're capable of putting the open box policy up for sale. All you've proven to me so far is that you can play one way, but if another young woman plays that way, all of a sudden, she can't play that way. And your fans act that way towards Blue Kim too. So far, all you've proved to me is that you're a front runner. And the problem with front runners is, people always say everybody got a strategy till they get punched in the mouth. Well, Apple Cory, they not only got punched in the mouth, they got hit with a sledgehammer. Shout outs to Triple H. You feel it? Dig me, coach. Listen, they got hit. I'm talking Jamie Lannister, Kingslayer type stuff. You feel it? Dig me? Valyrian steel. Like, they got put down tonight, right? And see, the funniest part about how they got put down is just looking at Applebee's smug personality, because at the beginning of the nomination ceremony, she touches the block. She expects, oh, Jack's just going to use veto on me, and he's going to put someone else up next to Felicia. Well, funniest part about it is, if he was really going to just do that, he would have never nominated you initially. But just look at Applebee's face initially. She had this face of, okay, no big deal. I'll be the pawn to get out the black woman. Whoop-de-whoop. Then all of a sudden, it starts to set in slowly but surely. Hello, darkness, my old friend. That's when she realized, oh no, I've been played. Huh? See, it was all fun and games when they played black players for weeks on end. It was all fun and games when they created the argument that everyone needed to stick together to stump those said players out. But once you take out all of the athletic black players, now you have removed the reasoning to keep targeting black people. Hence why a lot of people feel like, Cory, you choked your game away when you let Mimi go over Felicia. Why would you ever want to keep someone who called you out before the person who didn't at that time call you out? That was just dumb gameplay. Also, Felicia had more of a propensity. Well, I guess at that time, Mimi looked like the one closer to Cirie, though. To be fair, because they were worried about Mimi working with Blue and Cirie. Everyone thought Felicia and Cirie had enough beef where they couldn't reconcile. But see, that's the thing. You subject any sister, any brother to the Stone Age long enough, they're going to figure out a way to let bygones be bygones with each other, because they know if we beef with each other, we're just doing our enemies' dirty work. And Felicia and Cirie ain't neither one of them no Katura from Survivor. So that ain't going to happen, coach. That's not going to happen. Huh? But that brings me to another part that I want to roast Cory for. Cory. I don't know if you think you're Pink Panther. I don't know what you're doing. People are saying, oh, he's paying homage to Kevin. Remember he used to dress up as that other guy? I forgot what he called himself. Did he call himself Andrew or something? I forgot. But this dude, he thinks he's something slick, dressing up in this pink flamingo outfit. You feel it, dig me? Looking like Flamingo Barnes. You feel it, dig me? Shout outs to Jet Life. All right, if you get that joke, you're a real one. Straight up, shout outs to Trademark the Skydiver. All right, you're a real one if you get that reference. But understand, bro, this ain't Better Call Saul. You know what I'm saying? But I think this is all ironic. You know why, coach? Because Cockle Doodle Zoom is the one who took you out. That man Jag done turned into Gustavo Fring because El Pollos Hermanos is who got you sent to the Shadow Realm. You fella dig me, coach?
There's no way out of this.
You fella dig me?
You're done.
The Shadow Realm awaits. No Monster Reborn card will be activated. Julie didn't even give you the satisfaction of knowing Jared was Cerie's son. We ain't got time for that tonight. Huh? Understand, Julie roasted Apple Cory. She was like, Applebee's taught Cory how to kiss. Cory taught her the Constitution. But it was Tropic Thunder who truly schooled them. I was like, damn, Julie. Julie basically said to y'all,
oh, well, better luck next year.
Tough break. There's always FUBU. You feel it, dig me, coach? Understand, when you got the host stumping you out, that's how I know production is basically saying, we're sorry, Black America, we're sorry, casuals, Cameron and Jared should be here, not this Disney Plus showmans. They know that Disney Plus showmans ain't moving no needles. How the ratings fall down so much with this showman's getting all this TV time if production don't realize they bet on the wrong horse? They realized it. That's why they put them up on a platter for us, and we've been eating good tonight. That's why I'm here to provide y'all with the food for thought y'all truly need. See, what you gotta understand is, Cory and Applebee's truly believed they would make Final Five and then they could flip a switch. And then people would just let Cory be Steve Moses, and they just let him win. Nah, bruh. That's not going to happen. And even Jag tonight basically said, he said, why would Applebee's go to one of my day one allies, a final two he had, by the way, with Blue Kim. Why would she go up to Blue Kim and tell her before veto ceremony happens, you know, the week with 2 vetoes, by the way, why would she go up to Blue Kim and tell her they need to target Matt and Jag? That doesn't make any sense. So Jag went out of his way to basically say, don't be mad at me, be mad at yourself. This is one of the worst stretches of gameplay I've ever seen. Once again, more honesty, more truth in the edit. But the truth is, this couple's been playing this bad all season. The difference is, they were able to rely on, but what about what them black folks are doing? And that always swept under the rug their bad gameplay. Now that there's not that many black people anymore to be the big bad wolf, there's no more shields anymore. There's no more Boogie Nights. And that's what Booger Eater himself is starting to realize. People call you Boog, I'm just going to call you Boogie Nights. Because you truly crashed out over some butt. And it's astonishing to me because your game this past week has been butt as well. You throw all these comps when you could have won a few of them, and then the one comp you fight tooth and nail to win was a comp, in my opinion, you didn't even have to really win. Not if you don't force that fight with Jared, but once again, you wanted to make things about yourself. You knew your game was boring to casuals. You wanted to show the casual audience what you were willing to do to the black man. You were willing to do a public execution of the black man, talking guillotine style. You was ready to do that to him. I'm hearing you were planning on, after these veto meetings, doing something similar to Matt and Jag. I highly doubt you would have called both of them out and tried to stand your ground versus both of them. I highly doubt all that. That's why I believe he would have just kept the motion moving towards anti-blackness. Because Cory is not the type of guy to make an enemy out of 2 people at once. You saw with Felicia how scared he was. You really think he gonna call out Matt and Jag at the same time instead of waiting to see who wins the next HOH and then doing it? If someone that's advantageous wins it, then he wants to do it. He wouldn't do it before the HOH comp. The only reason why he did it with Jared that one time is because he had overwhelming numbers backing him up, and he knew his whiteness would give him an automatic diamond POV in that conversation. But once again, because you engaged in those conversations, you gave Cerie a reason to dislike your game personally, because you made it personal with her son. There's people saying, oh, well, Cerie's a bad player. She should want to keep Cory. She should win. You all are acting as if the emotional side of this game plays no role in the decision-making process. Didn't all of y'all justify Cory turning on Jared for emotional reasons? Now y'all the same fans saying Cerie don't have a right to be emotional when Cory was emotional first? Do you see this, ladies and gentlemen? This is the stuff you gotta peep game on. Because they make it seem like a black player doesn't have the same freedom of motion, range of motion, as the Corys of the world can have. And that is rooted in a certain tone of anti-blackness. I'm sorry, you know? But That's what makes all of this even more fulfilling, more sweeter. The idea that this dude Cory really underestimated all of these women. Let's just really talk about it here. Everyone said Jared was this and that. Jared this entire season never targeted a woman, only targeted men, right? Right. Meanwhile, Cory, even though technically the only person he got out was a guy, he didn't win any other comp. So we didn't get to see him multiple times under pressure having to choose a target for the house to see. Jared showed us a clear history of being a supporter of women. Now, people will say, well, maybe he only did that because for his mother's game, he needed to do that. Okay, that's true. I'm willing to agree with you and meet you halfway there. But once again, isn't that an example of how the narratives about Jared not respecting women are false? And once again, how can Cory get away with the disrespect of Cirie, an outright reality TV legend, on top of being anti towards every black woman once Jared leaves, which showcases the cowardice? I'm not going to come after none of these black women when their protector is around. You know, the only protector all four of these black women were given for an entire season. There's a certain cowardice in you waiting for the black man to leave the room before you start trying to push your weight around with sisters. There's a cowardice in that. People can say whatever they want about Jared. Jared never waited for a guy to leave before he targeted another guy. He never waited for a guy to leave before he targeted a lady, because he never targeted a lady. No matter how you shake it, Jared was the straight shooter fans say they wish this game would go back to being, with straight shooters that give us great entertainment, that play the game aggressively. Jared was all those things. Unfortunately, he didn't have the look that a lot of these stands prefer. And that truly is the tragedy in all of this. The idea that a lot of these fans, because of the past 2 years of black success, they didn't even give Jared a fair chance from the start. And this is going all the way back to Luke saying the N-word. They never gave this brother a fair chance. So it's funny to me. I look online, I see all these black fans who kept watching over the past 2 weeks, even when I walked away. And once the walls begin to cave in on Cory, I'm seeing black fans online be forced to explain why they don't like him. Y'all ain't gotta explain nothing to nobody. What's understood don't gotta be explained. They know why any black fan with any self-respect wouldn't like him. They know it. It's them trying to gaslight you. Let's just keep it real. The reason why they like him is because he played against the people who represent us. Then they ask you, what would make you dislike him? As if we're somehow the people in the wrong for rightfully disliking him for doing our representatives dirty. It's like, wait, hold up. No, that's not how we gonna play this. But understand, I'm seeing people online explain themselves. Listen, I'm tired of explaining what I don't like about Cory. I just don't like him, okay? And I'm over here looking around like, you ain't even got to say all that, coach. If these people are so bothered that they are requesting that you give them some preamble or some thesis statement, you know what I'm saying, to explain why you feel justified in not liking this dude who clearly went out of his way to crash out like Dirk Diggler, I'm sorry, coach, they're the ones with the problem, not us. Because even in tonight's episode, Applebee's was brought to tears. Cory tried his best to stay strong under pressure, but deep down we know he gonna go to the jury house and cry in his bed sheets too. Understand, we're talking about a guy who was in a college university and couldn't find no women to choose up on him. This is a guy who's enough of a game bot to know a lot was riding on this opportunity. This is a guy who has his brother loved reality TV too. This is a reality TV loving family, with all due respect, no shade there. So understand, this is a guy who I'm hearing people tried to help him pregame for this season, not just Kevin Jacobs. I'm hearing it was a lot of entities in white media that tried to help this kid too before the season. So think about that for a split second, right? Everyone wants to talk about how possibly Cirie was being helped by black people who played this game before. But then people just sweep under the rug how Cory was being helped. You know, Cory's being helped for a rookie season. He's being coached on how to play for a rookie season. And you have to ask yourself, how do these people know to coach Cory? I understand how they can know to coach Cirie. She's played reality TV before. That makes sense that they would want to call her name. But what's so special about Cory that all these people knew he would play before he played? And remember how they kept a black woman off of BB21 simply because They outed her for being on the cast before the cast was revealed. So explain to me, ladies and gentlemen, how all these people knew Cory would play this game, but it doesn't count as tampering. It doesn't count as preseason alliance making. It doesn't count as soft cheating. But whenever Sari is involved with certain stories like this, people reach for something. See, the truth is, Coach, they tried to soup Cory up. They tried to give him all the cheat codes. They tried to give him the Prima's official strategy guide. And that's what makes tonight even funnier, right? The idea that Cory looks like Peter Parker, but in this new era, Miles Morales is the strongest Spider-Man. And that's why it's even funnier to me, Coach. The idea that Jarrett's karma is what took you out tonight. Understand, if you would have stood by Miles Morales, both of y'all could have really did what y'all should have done this whole season. But you were jealous of Miles Morales. You were jealous of the fact that, oh man, this brother, his dad's a cop. He's athletically stronger than me before he even learns how to web sling. He's faster than me, bigger than me, taller than me, smarter than me, more riz than me, more likable than me. I need Miles about the paint. Because if Miles sticks around, no one will like Peter Parker anymore. Think about that for a second, y'all. This is a guy who was jealous of his fellow Spider-Man. They had a final two. This is a man who crashed out, who decided to betray Miles, which basically proves he took that symbiote suit and took it to a new level, because he truly turned to the dark side of the Force. But think about that. He turned to the dark side. He allowed Venom and Carnage to whisper sweet nothings in his ear. You feel it, dig me? I don't even know what type of analogy to use for Applebee's right now. Well, maybe she's the symbiote. She's Applebee's Medusa, after all. Everything she comes into contact with, she brings destruction to. Remember I cracked those jokes months ago and everyone thought I was off my rocker with that? Now do I look wrong? Cameron, Shadow Realm, eliminated from battle. Cory, Shadow Realm bound, eliminated from battle. And what did Izzy say when she got evicted? She said, "You're gonna follow me out, Piggy. You too, punk." No, she said, "You too, Pipsqueak." And what happened? Literally, Cory, you followed Cameron out the house. Izzy's karma. She predicted the future on y'all, Coach. Is she the Oracle? Is she the Oracle? Huh? Is she baking cookies in the kitchen right now, Coach? Is she baking cookies? See, the truth is, Coach, the truth is, it ain't Halloween yet, but you definitely got tricked and treated tonight. Oh, yeah, we bringing the bars out here. We bringing the bars out here.
It is long for you.
It's super long for you, dog. It's super long. You got your girl out here trying to quit. You're trying to make it seem like you're some gentleman. You're not a gentleman. Let's keep it real in these streets. If you was truly a gentleman, you would have targeted Cameron just for trying to look at your girl. You would have been like, nah. I'm letting her know outside this house. Some dude think he just gonna take you from me. I'm gonna do something about that. I'm the Karate Kid. You feel it, dig me? Cobra Kai settings, right? You was Cobra Kai Cory for a little bit. They call you Skis. Well, the truth is, Cory, your game became the Sleaze. Shout outs to Wiz Khalifa, Black Hollywood. You became the Sleaze because you stopped grooming yourself. You stopped caring about everything but busting some weasels, some whistles. And you really stopped focusing on the subtle nuances of the game. The little things that you used to do to dot your I's and cross your T's when Jarrett was around, you stopped caring about doing. And the more and more you stopped having that same stream of information that Izzy and Jarrett would always give you, the more and more your game started to get worse because you started to carry yourself as someone who didn't need the information anymore. And whenever you're someone who acts as if they have done things they haven't done, you're putting Jag and Matt in this position of going, dude, hey man, don't get it twisted. We like you and all, but you need to humble yourself a bit because you ain't carrying this alliance like we are. And see, the more you move like you're carrying it, the more you make people want to take you out. The more you are out on these little lunchable dates with your girl, the more you make people want to take you out. You know, the more and more you show people that there is someone you value more than them, you make them look dumb by the day for not targeting you. And this is why black fans became more impatient with it all. We were waiting for someone to make a move that was good, someone to make a move that made some sense. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, now that we're at Final 7, I'm happy that this smart move was finally made now. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on my way to the Batcave. I didn't plan for this rant to be too long, but now I would like to gauge the interest of you all, the fans. Understand, this rant right here is for you all. Understand, I could have easily just took tonight off and waited for Spider-Man 2, but I said, nah. We might not get a moment like this again. Let's celebrate this moment as a family, an RBR family. I'm on my way to the Batcave. I love all of y'all, and I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves today. Understand, today is the Cory eviction party, and I hope you all have enjoyed not only the rant, but the episode as well. Blue Kim completely bodied Cory in her goodbye message. I mean, let's just get to that real quick. She completely bodied Cory in her goodbye message. Cory's speeches were cringe. Applebee's speech was cringe, if I'm being honest. Well, Applebee, she at least had some fangs in hers. I mean, she called Jag the Aston moron, not the Aston Martin, the Aston moron. That was interesting. It's basically her implying, we know you got money, because I never heard of nobody broke driving an Aston Martin. So I think that was her subtly saying, Jag, you don't have my vote. You don't deserve the money. You don't need the money. Because think about it. She called him the Aston moron, which is her subtly basically implying he's a rich fool. Then you got her talking about our dude Matt, and she's basically just calling him the dumb blonde. But by calling him the dumb blonde, aren't you basically putting Matt over for exceeding expectations? Because if he's so dumb, how did he outplay you and your boy Cory? See, the truth is, I think everyone in this house respects Matt more than you, Jag, because Matt didn't take the shot you did. I know a lot of people think, oh, if Matt throws this HOH again, he's not going to beat Jag at the end. Yes, he will. Just like Taylor beat Monty. The story is too strong. As long as Matt gets there, he wins. He gets there, he wins. I don't know why people think Matt will lose to Jag. It's not going to happen, dog. Cameron always respected Matt more than Jag. Clearly, because he wanted Jag out. Jag left 10-0. This house don't really like Jag that much. Also, Jag was evicted. Jag came back. You think they're going to want Jag to be the first ever player to get evicted and win this game? No chance. Just that's what you got. Shout outs to Vince McMahon. I just don't believe it. So, at the end of the day, Coach, listen, I stand by the theory that Jag can't win this game versus anyone left besides maybe Applebee's. I stand by that. I still believe he gets washed in Final 2 versus anyone else. But now I'm on my way to the Batcave, ladies and gentlemen. Hope y'all have enjoyed yourselves tonight. Now I want to gauge your excitement, gauge how y'all feel about this game. Hope y'all enjoying the Challenge USA finale as well. I'm sure a lot of y'all might be watching that right now. No big deal. I'd be watching it if I wasn't recording. Understand that, patrons. Y'all gonna get something fire tomorrow. Don't worry. Don't worry. Isaiah asked a question, Coach, is it just me, but Jag has been doing some weird stuff with Blue while Jared has been gone. Seems as if ever since Jared has been gone, he's been trying to get with Blue. I wouldn't say that necessarily, but I do believe 100% Jag and Blue did have this flirtatious thing. Remember at the beginning of the season, Jag was applying makeup on Blue before he ever applied makeup on Cory, right? He was doing a lot of stuff, and it made Applebee's very jealous because this was around the time where Applebee's was really flirting with Jag and she wasn't even looking Cory's way. So at the end of the day, I don't think Jag necessarily likes Blue. I think because he already got exposed for trying to take the shot at her, I think he's trying to do everything he can to keep her loyal to him. And I think he's trying to basically act like the Jag that he was pre-jury, that did kind of have some type of reverence towards her, some preferential treatment towards her, some loyalty to her post-Reilly's eviction. I think he's trying to posture himself to be that same guy towards her, basically. Whether that's being believed or not is a whole nother story. But currently, Blue isn't really after Jag, so maybe it is working. Shout outs to you, Sigma, on the square. KB says Cory's going to have a boogie night with Cam. Honestly, I hope when Cory goes to that jury house, I hope Cam roasts him. Honestly, I hope he does roast him because Cameron tried to warn that kid. He said, bruh. Like, Cory doesn't realize, man, Ian, I know people are going to say, well, Ian did technically have a showmance with Ashley during 14. That was Disney Plus too. That was like a inside joke of the house. And a lot of people thought Ashley was high off marijuana throughout that whole season. Like, she just was one of those free spirits, bro. You know, so at the end of the day, I don't know about that. But with that said, though, Ian and Steve Moses won this game because they knew to stay out of making themselves into targets for no reason. They knew how to lay low. They knew how to stay out the way. I truly believe in Cory's mind, he was staying out the way by just laying down with Applebee's. But the truth be told, the more and more you build a stronger bond with another player and you become a power duo, and the more and more other players lose the players that they have been considered as being in power duos with, the more and more you seem like the one who's the biggest threat amongst the rest. And Matt and Jag, they're a power duo. So they're trying to take out whoever else has a power duo to increase their chances of being able to essentially win out. And it just makes sense for them to go about it the way they did. So, at the end of the day, I can't knock any of the gameplay this week outside of Jag telling everyone he was secret HOH, and, of course, Jag going after Blue before Cory. But, to be honest, with 2 vetoes this week, I'm starting to think Jag had to play it this way. Honestly. Because by him not nominating Cory and Applebee's, both of them felt comfortable enough to kind of throw the vetoes. At least that's how I saw it. Now, sure, Cory and Applebee's will make it seem like, oh, no, we fought as hard as we did. And let's be real, Applebee's had a fairly decent guess in the second veto stage on Tuesday night's episode. But that also brings up why Blue Kim, it was so important for her to pick the right number there. And I'm sure a lot of people were counting in their head as Jag was going around, right? And for Blue to be the only one to really count as close to the actual number, it showcases under pressure Blue has a real focus about her. Hence why I believe she is the Blue Viper. But in her goodbye message, though, to Cory, let me not forget this part, because this was probably the best part of the night, right? Well, one of the best parts of the night. Blue basically told him, I guess we have all proved you're not as smart as you thought you were. Bye. And you got all of these Apple Cory stands angry online. Now keep in mind, Applebee's was leaving goodbye messages towards people she didn't like this, pre-jury. I remember. But if Blue Kim does it, now all of a sudden, she doesn't have the complexion for the protection for the collection. She somehow doesn't have the right to feel this way. Applebee's did these things before she lost her boyfriend in the house. But they're creating the argument Blue Kim, after losing hers, doesn't have that same right, when the truth is she has more of a right. Once again, people are showing the hypocrisy here. They'll tell you Sari can't do this, but Cory can. They'll tell you Blue can't do this, but Applebee's can. All the while giving Blue really no credit, Sari really no credit, and lumping all of this credit on Cory and Applebee's. It makes no sense. But understand, that was a good goodbye message. Appleby said Cory is America's favorite player. Now people tell me, oh, it was a pun. She was saying she's America. He's her favorite. Okay, yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, it's still cap. I don't want to hear that. You're not winning AFP, buddy. It's not happening. Cameron's going to dog walk you. Saria's going to dog walk you. Matt's going to dog walk you. Yeah, I think those 3 is going to be top 3 votes for sure. And I think it's really funny how Cameron didn't even place in the top 3 votes for that twist that saved Jag, and now he's like the casual's favorite player. It just goes to show you how things can change very quickly in this game. But now I'm ready to answer some more questions, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, let's remove that, though. Let's not leave it on too long. All right, now I'm on my way to the live chat again. Let's see what y'all got to say. Blade says, Cory is whack. By the way, Blade, you now have your Infinity Stone, coach. I know for a fact you're a patron. Shout-outs to you. Welcome to the squad. Blade says, Cory is whack. America is whack. Bowie is whacker. Jag has to go. We'll see if that happens. Breezy says they dogged Jared out. Absolutely. Hence why they deserve to be dogged out tonight. Jiggy says, I'm not sorry. Karma beat him tonight for backstabbing Jared so hard. I agree with that wholeheartedly as well. And Ubong, let's talk about that too. Your brother is a first boot on another show, and you still got chosen for this show? I mean, damn. I mean, that is a lot of privilege. You do have a point there. You know, you do have a point. I mean, Dwayne Johnson had to be one of the greatest wrestlers ever to get his daughter into the wrestling business, his cousins into the wrestling business, his nephews into wrestling business. As long as you ain't black, you ain't even got to be great at the game you're playing to be able to have your relatives get that same chance through nepotism. You know, at least Sari had to be a legend to get her son on a show. Cory's brother could be absolutely garbage, and he still got an opportunity. But once again, all people talk about is Jarrett and nepotism. Interesting. Rita says, challenge is good. All of our sisters made it to the final. That's great. That's great. Please, no spoilers, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely, Breezy. The show was beginning to fall off a bit here. I think the show was in dire need of a change-up. Absolutely. Oh, Kiyoshi says they love the Avatar reference at the beginning. You feel it, dig me? I happen to be one of the only users of all of the elements. You know, some people in this community, they can spit that hot fire. Some, listen, don't get it twisted. They can wash you with the water bending. Some can even do some Gen V blood bending. Some, they can utilize the earth like myself and go scorched earth. And then you got others who can use the wind to blow the doors off of the competition. But then every now and then you have that one Joy Boy character who is capable of mastering them all and putting them all together and mixing them up. And you all know who that person is. Tim asks question, should Cam beat the dog-ish out of Cory for addressing his daughter? You know, I heard about this. So that was who he was calling out in his speech, huh? I didn't know who Cory was referencing. I forgot who Cam's daughter's name was. See, I'm going to keep it real. Great question there, Tim. Cory, you are playing a very dangerous game with that. I would never bring up another man's daughter. I wouldn't even bring up a man's wife. If I got a problem with the man, that's my problem with the man. Leave the ladies up out of it, let alone a child. And when you basically came into this game as a child, huh? I don't think with the same size as one, I just don't think you need to be the one cracking that joke, bro. You should have stuck to your self-deprecation bag because I think Cory made an enemy out of casuals even deeper with that line. It went over my head. But the casuals, they love themselves some Cameron. At this point, they know who his daughter's name is. That didn't lose them. They caught on to that. I'm glad you brought that up because that evaded me. I didn't even realize he was throwing some shade at Cameron. But see, that's my problem with Cory again. Where was this smoke at when Cameron was around? You feel what I'm saying? Oh, he's been gone now for a week. Now let me throw some slick shit towards his way. Just like how he threw some slick stuff towards Jarrett's way when Jarrett didn't have any opportunity to really bounce back from it. This is who Cory is, man. And listen, I know there's going to be people saying, oh, but that's the game, though. You know, we want to see people do these things. Didn't you just defend Blue Kim for waiting until her moment to say these things about Cory in a goodbye message? Yeah, but that's a goodbye message. And that's not Blue Kim bringing up Cory's family. Remember how butthurt Cory was about the fact that his brother played Survivor? How Jarrett was spreading that information? Even though Jarrett was just implying he had a secret, Jarrett didn't outright tell the exact secret because Cameron did not confirm what the secret exactly was. So you can just outright disrespect a man's daughter, though? I'm not with that, man. That ain't cool to me. I'm definitely on Cameron's side with that. And as you all can see, if I was really looking for something else to be mad at Cory about, I would have caught on to what he said in that speech. I listened to it and I was like, this sounds like mid to me. But that's neither here nor there. Shout outs to Sith. Sith Legion says, I think Jag or Matt is winning this HOH. Cherie's not being given credit as a social player. Very true. I mean, listen, from a jury management standpoint, I think Cherie is one of the most polished players in reality TV history. The way she can make a former enemy feel like a devout ally in a short amount of time is quite impeccable. I mean, she did that with Applebee's this week. Applebee's has been so anti-black, and now Applebee's is all about this Girls Alliance stuff. You know, and then Applebee's tonight is trying to say, I don't know why Blue ratted me out. I was legit, I trusted her. I was legit trying to help her in this game. Literally, you and Cory are the biggest Peter Pettigrews in the dang game. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But see, this is how I know once again, accountability has escaped this lady for a long time. Now she has no choice but to admit, I sabotaged Cory's game. I ruined Cameron's game. Instead of flirting with both guys, I could have just decided to not play that way. But even Applebee's knew, if I don't give it up to Cory, Cory's going to stay with them black folks, he's going to let me fall by the wayside, and Cory's going to make the end of this game without me. Applebee's made the selfish decision of saying, I'd rather have you work with me and possibly not make the end than you make the end guaranteed without me. To me, that's very selfish. What do they always say? If you really love somebody, you got to be willing to let them go. She was unwilling to even let him play his best game. She was unwilling to let Cameron play his best game because she's the one who spread the rumor about him being uncomfortable to be around, even though she was drinking his wine. Even though she was acting like Selma Hayek and From Dusk Till Dawn. You know what I'm saying? No matter how you shake it, coach, you played yourselves here, you know? You absolutely played yourselves. Ears Yet asked the question, do you believe America would last till top 6? Which means, will she survive this week? I think the likelihood someone takes out America this week is very low. I think if she's on the block next to Bowie, and now I'm stay the same, Bowie's the one they're going to try to take out. I think if Applebee's is on the block next to Blue would leave in that scenario in all likelihood. But then again, with 7 players left, a 2-2 tie can be forced, but you need the 3-1 because anyone after Blue, they're just going to take out Blue with the tiebreaker. But that could also be something that ruins jury management, right? Like if Matt wins HOH and Jag convinces him they need to take out Blue this week and it comes down to 2-2 tie, if Matt breaks that tie and decides to take out Blue before a Bowie or Blue before an Applebee's, I really do think that would look bad on Matt to the jury. And I think Blue would not be able to forgive him for that. So that's where things can get really techie here. And this is where I believe, honestly, regardless if Jag or Matt win HOH, they should be looking more so not to nominate Blue initially. They should at least want to keep the story going that they're close. I think if you nominate her initially again, I mean, you just come off really bad. You just come off really bad. But yeah, that's my initial read on that. Jiggy says, Sari can play this game like Dr. Will, never win HOH, but under radar, and they not target her. And that's a good point as well, right? Everyone acts like this was Kevin Jacobs' game, when it never was. Kevin Jacobs did win a veto that was thrown to him. It was handed to him. I'll never forget how bad Gino competed in that comp, just so Kevin could win it. I think that was the week Herman got backdoored or something. I can't remember, but yeah, I remember that week. Maybe it wasn't the week Herman got backdoored. Actually, it may have been. But, yeah, 100%, Coach. I agree with you on that. Sari is playing a masterful game. It's just a shame. She's not getting the credit she deserves, you know. And that's the shocking part. You know, I can create the argument if Monty wins last season, Sari gets all her roses every week, every day, every step of the way this season. Because Taylor won, it's like they've grown tired of giving black women credit to the point where they don't even want to give Sari the credit she's due. I don't get it. I really don't. Ubong says, oh, so Cory said, Stevie, Daddy is coming home. Oh, yeah, that ain't cool, bro. That ain't cool. I'm not a fan of that, bro. If you ain't gonna say it to a man's face, don't say it on some slick stuff. And see, production, if they show the clip, right? If they show the week clip, because they always show the past week to the jury members, right? They're going to skip that part that came out of Cory's mouth in that speech because they're not going to want Cory to be so uncomfortable with Cameron by himself in that jury house, man. They're not going to want that, Coach. They're not going to want that. So please believe they're going to edit that part out of the speech, and Cameron's going to be like, yeah, I like Cory. And we're all going to be confused from a week from now or maybe 2 weeks from now when they show us that. So just understand that part. Exactly. Exactly. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for posting those links. Oh, yeah, Cory definitely felt defeated tonight, E-Daddy. I mean, the fact that in his speech, he didn't even create an argument for why they should keep him. He didn't have a last-second Hail Mary in his pocket. He didn't have nothing. He ran out of plays. And you know why you ran out of plays? Because you no longer had Jared to help you come up with one. You no longer had Miles Morales to help you fight crime. Now you're getting jumped by Cockadoodle Zoom and the NFL scouting combine star himself, Matty Fields. Now you're like, oh man, I really wish I had Jared to help me in this fight. And the funny thing is, if Jared would have came back, the first group he would have targeted was Matt and Jag, and they're the ones running the entire season right currently. So people can't say Jared has bad reads. They can't say Jared isn't good at this game. All of Jared's reads have aged like fine wine. It's actually Cory and Applebee's reads that have aged terribly. And that's another part of this. It's quite ironic, but that's neither here nor there. Caesar asks the question, what does Cirie have to do to get the bag? So in other words, what does she have to do to win this game? This is what I believe she needs to do. She needs to get Jag out this week, okay, to make it more possible that her and Felicia can win more comps. After Jag is gone, I believe they need to prioritize getting rid of Bowie Jane. I think after you get rid of Bowie Jane, then you can double back around and choose between Matt or Applebee's who goes next. Me personally, I would take out Applebee's before Matt. I don't think Matt's going to, but then again, no, I would take out Matt. If I'm Cirie and Felicia, I want Blue, Kim, and Applebee's in my Final Four. Why not? Why not? You know, bring the Black Widow Brigade back. I saw tweets about this on Twitter. I'm like, why not? Huh? I normally love to see a guy at least make the end, but you know what? Maybe that's the karma this season deserves too, since all y'all wanted to turn on Jared so fast. All right, none of y'all guys get to make the end. How about that? I think that would be a funny scene. And honestly, I think that Final Four would be quite compelling, right? Because it kind of would force Blue and Applebee's to work together to make Final Three, knowing Felicia and Cirie would work together to make Final Three. It would be very, very interesting, you know? And I think in that scenario, I think Blue Kim could wash Applebee's in Final Two. And I also believe Cirie would win versus anyone, and Felicia would win against anyone not named Cirie. I think basically it would go Cirie has the highest chance of winning in that Final Four if she's in Final Two. Felicia has the second highest chance. Blue has the third highest chance. Appleby has the fourth. But depending how Blue plays this down the stretch before a Final Four scenario, Blue could easily leapfrog Felicia. She could. But it depends if Blue is willing to make a big move like backstabbing Matt or something like that. I think that could be the move that wins her the game, in theory, right? But that's the thing. Blue seems to be talking more so being in Final Three with Matt and Jag, so maybe we can't expect her to make that move. And honestly, for jury management, she might be scared to make that move. DJ CJ says, my people are tuned in now. Keep being great, coach. Hey, you keep being great as well. All of y'all are great. That's why I love the RBR family so much. Please don't forget to smash that like button. I appreciate y'all. This is my way of giving back to the culture. I'm just trying to see if y'all have any more questions. It feels like the streets are happy. It feels like the streets are satisfied. So ladies and gentlemen, if you could, please don't forget to like this video, comment underneath it, and of course, give me your thoughts on Cory's eviction. Do you all agree that this could have been avoided if Cory would have just stuck by Jared a little longer? I believe Cory could have easily had this game handed to him on a silver platter if he was willing to bet on himself a bit more. And I know people are going to say, oh, he bet on himself. That's why he flipped on Jared. I disagree with that. He bet on Applebee's by flipping on Jared. See, if he never flips on Jared, he truly is betting on himself because he's keeping himself with all of the connections, not his girlfriend. By him making sure his girlfriend had all the connections, it naturally was on his girlfriend when Jag, the person his girlfriend was closer to, turns on them both. See, you can say whatever you want about Jared, but Jared's respect for Cory was why he was unwilling to nominate Cory next to Applebee's initially. He wanted to just nominate Applebee's and get her out. This is when everyone started overblowing R-word gate because they didn't want Jared to make a smart move for him and Cirie's game. We had people go out of their way to create fake outrage just to stop good gameplay. This is when I knew, ooh, this game is getting it's a little scary, the direction we're going down. So what I'm happy about is the Apple Cory stands didn't think of some last-second controversy to whip out to save this couple again. That's what I'm happy about. I'm happy that they have to come, they're going through the 5 stages of grief and they have to reach acceptance. A lot of us black fans, we have to see 2 black people go home back to back. I doubt Applebee's follows Cory right out the house, so at least they can have 1 week to recover from all of this. But just imagine what we've gone through for 20 some odd years. Well, we have always seen the Howards of this world go out right before the Candaces. Or we see the David Alexanders go out right before the Davons. Or the Baileys go out right before the Kevins. We've seen this all the time. So understand that, coach. You know, no matter how much this may sting or this may feel like pain to you Apple Cory stands, understand this could have been avoided if y'all would have just been willing to be just a little bit pro-black. I know that's a tough concept to digest, but I guess this was the only food for thought I could serve you. I'm Dave Smith for Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism, and everyone can't come to the cookout. And it definitely ain't gonna get no invites sent to them Wurtenbergers. You feel a dig me, coach? I can speak for Black America when I say that. The Shadow Realm awaits, and you deserve this. And you deserve a lot more. But for now, we'll take this W home. Y'all have a great night. Y'all have a great weekend. And patrons, I'm going to have some content for y'all the rest of the way through. You feel a dig me, coach? Until